constantly fearful and constantly lacking faith. You say, why would God pick a guy like this? Because I think all of us deal with fear on some level. All of us lack faith at times. So this is just kind of how human beings are. Even John the Baptist, the greatest man who ever lived, doubted and said, art thou he that should come, or do we look for another? And so I believe God picked Gideon because he's humble and because he wants to rely on God and he believes in the power of God. And those two things kind of go hand in hand, you know, because if we're humble, we're not going to try to do it in our own strength. We're going to be looking to God's power. And so that's why he gets used, even though he's fearful. But here's the thing. I think everybody has fear at times and everybody lacks faith at times. But you know what the difference is? Some people act anyway. You know, and I remember somebody gave a definition of faith as this. They said, biblical faith is believing and doubting, but acting on the belief. Believing and doubting, but acting on the belief. You know, because here's the thing. You can believe and doubt, but still act on the belief. Or you can believe and doubt and act on the doubt and do nothing and not go forward. Does everybody understand that? And it's the same thing with fear. You know, there's fearing, but acting in spite of your fear. And then there's fear that just paralyzes you and you do nothing. Because, look, I guarantee there are a lot of people who are scared to go out and knock on somebody's door and preach the gospel to them. Some people do it in spite of being scared. Other people are scared so they don't go. So look, it's okay to be human. You're going to be scared sometimes. You're going to be doubtful sometimes. Obviously, in a perfect world, none of us would ever fear or doubt if we were perfect. But we are sinners. We are human. We are flesh. That doesn't disqualify us from being used by God. It's not like God looks at you, oh, you're pathetic. You wimp. You know, if you're scared to death, but you do the will of God anyway, if you doubt, but you go out on faith anyway and step out on faith anyway, you know what? God will take that. You know, there was a guy in the Bible when Jesus was doing healing. I love this statement where he says, Lord, I believe, help thou my unbelief. Isn't that a great statement? Lord, I believe, help. And he says, look, if you believe, Jesus told him, if you believe, you know, all things are possible to him that believe it. Lord, I believe, help thou my unbelief. And guess what? That guy got his prayer answered. So when God hears, Lord, I believe, help thou my unbelief, he'll take that. He'll take it. He doesn't say, oh, not enough faith. He'll take that. You know, believing and doubting, but acting on the belief. Okay, that's the faith that we see Gideon having here. He's scared, he's doubting, but in the end, he gets the job done. He does it in the middle of the night, but he still gets it done.